Hello and welcome to our video on simplifying by multiplying terms together. When we are multiplying, we don't need to check for like terms. When you're adding and subtracting, you can only add and subtract like terms, but when you're multiplying, you don't need to bother about like terms at all. So multiplying I think it's actually a little bit easier than adding and subtracting. You do need to remember when you're multiplying terms that a times a is the same thing as, we don't normally write the times symbol in between the two algebra terms, so it would be AA, and we write that as a squared. When you are multiplying negatives, you don't need to use the number line. Adding and subtracting negatives, number line. Multiplying, you don't need to use the number line, you just need to remember this little rule. So if you've got a plus and a minus multiplying together, or a minus and a plus, so different signs, it will equal a negative for the solution. If you have the same signs, a plus and a plus, or a minus and a minus, then it equals a plus for the solution. One that always gets people is a negative times a negative makes a positive. So make sure you've got those notes written down somewhere. Steps to follow when you are multiplying terms together. Step 1, multiply the number parts first. Step 2, multiply the pronumeral parts, and all you need to do is list them together. And step 3 is to simplify any further using your square terms and your index laws. Let's have a look at some examples. I'd like you to pause the video now so you can have a go at these and see how you go with them. Pause the video now. Okay, hopefully you've had a go at these. Let's go through them together. The first one is 4a times 2b times a. Step 1 says multiply the number parts first. We've got a 4 times 2, which is 8, and there's no number part in front of here, but hopefully you remember from earlier that if there's nothing written there, it means a 1. It's not a 0, it's a 1. So we've got 4 times 2, which is 8. 8 times 1 is 8. Need an equal sign, and we start on a new line every time we write a new section of work. So we've got 8, and we need, step 2 is multiply the pronumeral parts. Just list them together. We've got an A, we've got a B, and we've got another A. Step 3 is to simplify if you can. And we've got our number part there. We've got an A here and an A here, so that makes A squared. I'm writing the A first because it comes first in the alphabet, and the B stays on the end. Can't simplify that any further, so that's our fully simplified solution. Question 2. Step 1, multiply the number parts first. 2 times 6. Start with an equal sign. 2 times 6 is 12. Multiply the pronumeral parts and list them together. We've got AX and BX. Equal sign on the next line and simplify if you can. Keep the 12 out the front. We've got A, there's only one A, so it stays there. I'm going to go B next because it comes next in the alphabet, and there's only one B. Then we've got two X's, so it'll be X squared, because X times X is X squared, not 2X. X squared. Question 3. Step 1, multiply the number parts first. Now this one becomes tricky because we've got 3 things to multiply. If you feel up to multiplying 3 numbers at once, you can have a crack at that. The method I'm going to use, I'm going to break it down into smaller parts. So I'm just going to do this first part inside the brackets first, and I'll leave this on the end, and then whatever this solution comes out to, I'll multiply it by the end part. There's a few different ways you could work this one out. First step, multiply the number parts. 7 times negative 3. We've got a positive times a negative. Positive times a negative, different signs, makes a negative. So it's going to be negative. 7 times 3 is 21. And then we list all the pronumeral parts, BX, AX. And then we just put this end part on, times 2BAX. Can we simplify this first bit any further? keep the negative 21 there. We've got a, oh, let's go alphabetically. A, there's only one A. Then we've got a B, and we've got an x and an x. X times x is x squared. Leave this end part on, 2BAX. It's really important to keep writing this on every line to make sure what you're writing is mathematically correct. Now we start again. Multiply the number parts first. 21 times 2. We've got a negative times a positive. Different signs, so the solution's going to be negative. Oh, hang on a sec. I've just realized here this is a negative, so this should be negative and this should be negative. Hopefully you picked up on that earlier. So hang on a sec. Negative times a negative will make a positive according to our rule up here. Same signs, makes it positive. You don't need to put the positive out the front. I'll leave it there just so you can see what I've done and realize I haven't made a mistake. But normally we don't write a positive in front of a number. 21 times 2 is 42. And then we multiply the pronumeral parts by listing them all together. A, B, x squared, that's this bit. And B, A, x, all together in 1. Let's see if we can simplify this because it does look a little long. I'm not going to put the plus there anymore because I don't need it. I'll start with an A. There's an A there and another A, so that will be A squared. B and another B, that's a B squared. X squared and an x here. Using our index laws, if we've got x squared times x, this x is to the power 1 if there's nothing written there. So this is x to the 2 plus 1, which is x to the 3, or x cubed. Finally, see if you can simplify any further. I don't think we can simplify that one any further. Thanks for watching the video today.